So hello everyone, I'm James Knight, and I'm the pioneer of gentle somatic yoga. And I've been working on this, like I just mentioned, for about 8 years. And it wasn't until I moved to California and started working at another fitness club that I'm also a HANA somatic educator, a certified HANA somatic educator. It's an advanced 3-year program in Novato. It's to well, I do private sessions one-on-one, and then classes like this. But over the years, I took HANA somatics, combined it with hatha yoga, pranayama, breathing, and healing visualizations, and then now, all these years later, this is the format of the class. So this is very different than a traditional yoga class. Raise your hand if you've taken my class before. So there's some new people. Okay, thank you. So the difference between HANA somatics and yoga is, in yoga we stretch a muscle, and in HANA somatics we re-educate the muscle. So as I'm asking you to perform these movements, some of you are going to ask yourself, how do I do that? And a lot of times I don't demonstrate because the magic of somatics is repatterning the brain. So you're learning something new. So for example, if I ask you to lift your arm and turn your head, and you go, what direction? That's totally fine, because the process of discovery is how you're going to learn something new. So let me give you a few tips and guidelines for this work. One of my favorite tips is called the feathering technique. So for example, if I have you with your hand on your shoulder and you're turning and you're lifting your elbow, and all of a sudden there's a pain in your upper arm and the deltoid is going, ugh, then instead of pushing past that or struggling against it, just go right up to the edge and then back away. And then the next repetition, is that the music? All right, I might turn that down a little bit. It sounded like a bird was flying through here. Did you hear that? I'm like, what? So feathering technique, yeah. So for example, this is very gentle and very smooth. So you go in and you feel the sensation and then you back away. And you might notice the next time you do it, you might be able to go just a little bit farther, and so on and so forth. So that's one of the most important tips. Another is to go slow and smooth, and often we rest in between each repetition. So for example, if I ask you to lift your elbow, you come in and you go out and then you pause. You go in, you go out, and you pause. Another tip is once you feel like you're comfortable, you can close your eyes, and the whole experience of lifting that arm, you can use your body as meditation, the object of meditation, and bring your full awareness to the muscle that you're isolating as you lift the movement, and the benefits of your efforts will be exponential, because now your focus is inward, first person. And that's what you want, because oftentimes when our eyes are open, we get distracted, and we take our focus away from ourselves. So take every opportunity to work with your eyes closed, and I'll be coming around and helping you from time to time. Let's see, so feathering technique, eyes closed, slow and smooth, and then modification. So raise your hand if you're working with the challenge today, so I can be sensitive to that. Okay, so I know about Joanne, I know about yours.
Just a few things, but I'll
Sure.
modify. Yeah.
No, please let me know. So if I come and I adjust you, then I know when I'm working.
Okay, wrists,
Wrists
the shoulder.
and shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay.
This shoulder is really bad. This one isn't great.
Okay.
I seem to have hurt my wrist in the
Okay.
last couple of days.
Okay.
Not hurt it, but it's sore.
Isn't it interesting? I think I've talked to 3 or 4 people that have wrist and shoulder stuff. It's like going in waves. Okay, and who else? Deborah?
You know,
Your back.
Knee. No, knee.
Oh, no, not your back.
Knee here. Close. S-I-E in here.
Okay.
But it,
Okay.
We talked the arm and
The arm and the, yeah. Okay.
left shoulder.
Okay, great. So, you guys, if any of your pain is muscular related, then HANA somatics can work. Because what's happening is that there's a subconscious holding, and in our work we call it sensory motor amnesia. So here's a muscle, and if it's in spasm, the muscle is shortened, and it's involuntary. So for example, when you're not using the muscle, it stays in a contracted state. Therefore, we don't have the range of motion that we would like, and that's when the pain comes. So through these movements, you're going to help to reset the length of the muscle from your brain. And then if you like any of the exercises and you want me to send you some links to some videos afterwards, the more you do them, then the more you reset those neural pathways to the new memory of the muscle. So if you have questions, you can see me after class. Okay, cool. Well, I wanted to let you know that there's I brought a couple of my DVDs. This first one we did a few years ago, and it's very much like this class. All the movements that I'm teaching today are on both these videos. So if you wanted to take your practice home with you, you're welcome to buy them. And then also the workbook gives detailed instructions of everything that's on both of these CDs. So some people like to have this on the floor next to them while they do them, and there's pictures, and you might recognize some of the models that are in the book because they're in this room. And it gives modifications and tips and instructions. So I have those available. And then I also wanted to let you know, the last couple of years I found the thrill and the fun of leading yoga retreats. So last year we went to a very special place called Haramara, and it's in Sayulita, Mexico, which is just north of Puerto Vallarta, and it's truly a sanctuary. It's just a magical place on the planet. And so I'm going there for an immersion training at the end of January, and then I'm doing a teacher's training right after that. So there's flyers if you guys want to check that out. I think we still have a few spots left in each, so it's a great way to learn more somatics. Basically, we start off the day doing classes just like this, and then you get pampered and spoiled by doing spa treatments and eco tours and swimming in the infinity edge swimming pool, and it's really sublime. So come join me. Okay, so also if you have any questions, please feel free to see me after class and or just raise your hand. I don't think I finished giving you another tip. If I'm giving you instruction and this just is out of your possibility today, then you can also just close your eyes and just visualize that muscle moving, and it will make a change, positive change. Or if I'm asking you to sit like this and one of your legs is hurting, then feel free to just extend that leg. And you can use props, if you need something for your knee. So let's be creative together, and then I also learn from you. You can show me what works for you. Some of you have things to sit on because we're going to be doing some sitting. So feel free to use a blanket or a bolster. Welcome. Yeah, no problem. Feel free to come on over here. So we're going to get a double dip in this workshop today because I'm going to be dividing it into two classes. So first of all, if you wouldn't mind just coming into a comfortable seated position. Your knees don't need to be crossed. You could be sitting against the wall. You could have your legs out. You could be sitting on a bolster or a blanket. Since this is neuromuscular re-education, the brain likes to learn from contrast. So with your eyes closed, just check in and notice how you feel before we do any of the movements and meditations. Start at your face. Bring your awareness to your forehead, your eyes, your jaw. Start using your breath. I hear some of you breathing deeper, slower. And as you scan your body, just begin to soften the muscles. The upper and lower jaws separated, the lips are softly together. Shoulders relaxed. Arms, wrists, and fingers relaxed. So notice as you breathe, there's a slight lift in the clavicle and the upper shoulders, and as you exhale, notice how your body drops down a little bit, down towards the earth. So spend a few moments and just feel that beautiful rhythm, that ongoing rhythm. Breath moving in, breath moving out. Notice your hips. You might like to bring a small movement to your lower back, undulating lower spine to make sure that you're sitting in a position that feels most supportive in the hips and lower back. Just notice your legs, the sensations of the legs, places where the legs are touching the floor, the feet, the toes. together, let's take a few cleansing breaths. So, and a big in-breath through the nose. Out through the mouth, audible. Two more. Deep breath in through the nose. Sounds good. One more deep breath in. Just settle into the space that you're sitting in. As we're shifting brain waves together into a receptive state, or of an alpha brainwave, so that we can learn and relax and heal. Just grounding into this moment as you breathe. Connect deep within yourself and feel all the sensations in this moment. And then just like a before and after photo, like when there's been a renovation in a house, this is the before shot, and I'll ask you at the end of class. Just really capture how you feel right now. And when you're ready, let's do some head and neck rotations by dropping the chin to the chest, and then rotate your right ear over to your right shoulder. And then tip your head back. It doesn't need to be real far, but squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then left ear to left shoulder. And then when the chin comes to the chest, I invite you to round over. So bring a curve to your back so you can kind of broaden your shoulders. And then let's lift back up, right ear to right shoulder. Keep going around nice and smooth and slow. Bring the shoulder blades together. And then left shoulder to the left ear. And then round over. And now make this a real organic movement for yourself. Make it nice and smooth. It's nice to see some of you modifying already. Use your breath, connect with your breath, or stay connected to your breath. And as you're going around, if there are places on your neck and shoulders that feel particularly tight, feel free to go back and forth in that spot. Instead of going all the way around, use that idea of feathering technique and move in and out of that spot. See if you can open up using your breath and then keep going around. Beautiful. Find a way to reverse directions. I really want to emphasize that you can be creative with my instructions. You know, my instructions are meant with intention to guide you safely in and out of the movements, but use your intuition. If there's a way that you want to move that your body's telling you, please feel free. It's all about making that inner connection and using yourself as the teacher. Keep opening your breath. And as you move, relax your hips, relax your legs. Nice, Joanne. And when you come back with the chin to center, let's slowly come back up. And then when you get with your head more neutral over your chest, then roll your shoulders back, big circles. Let your head bob as you roll your shoulders. You might hear some snap, crackle, pop, huh? And reverse. Those snaps and crackles will lessen hopefully throughout class as your muscles lengthen and repattern. And come back to neutral. Pause for a moment, eyes closed, hands on your knees or on your legs. Relax the belly. We take lots of pauses in gentle somatic yoga, and it's intentional because I want you to fine-tune your awareness. I'm inviting you to increase conscious awareness of yourself. So feel that right now. Feel how the sensations have already begun to change. We're going to do a moving twist. So some of you might like to take the bolster or the blanket away, but you might want to watch me for a moment. We're going to come into a twist to the right. So placing, and again, you may not be looking like me. Your leg might be out. That's totally fine. The intention is to sit up tall and to place your right hand behind you. Bring your shoulders away from the ears. Chin is tucked a little bit so the neck can be nice and long. And invite you to what to do is to squeeze on the exhale. Bring your right shoulder blade behind you. And then on the inhale, release and round over with the chin to chest. So it's a moving twist. You're going to inhale, sit tall, squeeze, left hip on the floor, and then relax, exhale, eyes closed, let your body round over, and the hips tip. So at your own pace, you're going to inhale, lift and squeeze, and exhale, relax and round over. So remember, not pushing, not struggling, honoring your body and your limits. You're exploring yourself from the inside out. Beautiful. Wow, I can really feel the group, the intent of the group. You guys have beautiful energy. Thank you for joining me today in this space. One more time, feel the strength of your back muscles as you spin, each vertebrae spinning. Just feel that strength, and then release and let go. And let's change sides. You're going to lift, right hand on the left knee or the left leg, sit up tall, left hand behind you. You're going to exhale and squeeze. At the beginning, let's just squeeze a little bit. Let's not squeeze by forcing, and then come out of it, exhale. Eyes closed, inhale, lift, shoulders away from the ears, chin to chest, squeeze. We're rinsing away any stress held in the muscles surrounding the spine and between the shoulder blades. The neck isn't so important in this movement, it's more about the back. So don't worry about how far you look over your shoulder with your head. Feel more the length of the spine and the squeeze and the release of the back muscles. And I don't know if you've noticed, but some of you might have seen or felt that your range of motion is increasing each time you move into the twist. And the pelvis moves too, so that when you're moving out of the twist, really let the pelvis tilt toward your chin. And then balance on the sit bones again as you lift and squeeze that left shoulder blade behind you. Beautiful. One more repetition. It's nice to hear your breath, you guys. Look beautiful. And come back to center. Pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Palms facing up. Take a cleansing breath. Just settle in. Eyes soft, forehead soft, jaw soft, shoulders relaxed. We're going to change up the instructions a little bit. If you'd like to look at me, you're welcome to. We're going to do the same thing, only we're going to do the opposite. So instead of the head moving the direction of the twist, it's going to look over your opposite shoulder. And then when you round over, then you're going to look over the right shoulder. So it's going to be lift, inhale, squeeze. Exhale, round, relax. So when you're ready at your own pace, we're just changing the direction of the head. And move in a way that feels good to you guys. I can't stress that enough. I mean, you might reach areas of discomfort, but these movements should always feel just a little bit good. What's that?
So I'm not doing it right.
So the left hand is on the right leg or right knee. The right hand is behind you, and the head is going to go opposite the twist. It's not intuitive, is it? And this is part of the repatterning. Again, is the brain going, what? You want me to do what? And then figuring it out is the neuromuscular re-education. That's where everything gets rewired. Nice. All right, and let's find a way to transition. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. We can start with the lift and then let your right, this might help you, Mom, is look over your right shoulder, even though you're twisting to the left. And now come out of the twist and let your head drop to the left shoulder. And as you lift and look over the right shoulder, the left shoulder squeezes behind you. Is that helpful?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to scramble your brain more than once today, I can guarantee it. So just smile. So we're just warming up right now and bringing some fresh prana to the central nervous system, squeezing and flushing the muscles of the back and in between the shoulder blades, the rhomboids, and the trapezius. And we're also warming up the hips. One more time. It's all a discovery. And when you're finished, then come back to neutral and bring your legs out, since some of you have had your legs crossed for a while. And let's just tap the legs out. Maybe some slight percussion. Make sure you get the back of your gluteal muscles. And then when you're ready, then sitting tall. And if you're on a mat, make sure that your feet can come to the carpet. So either go to your right or your left or in front. Just hold on to your knees. Relax, close your eyes for a moment. Let's just pause. Always feel free to use a cleansing breath. Kind of helps reset our brain for learning something new. This next movement is called foot sliders, and it's to help repattern the muscles behind the occiput, the skull, all the way down to the middle part of the back. Most of my clients I see one-on-one, a lot of us have stiff neck muscles and upper shoulder muscles. So this next movement sequence, somatic movement flow, is going to be for that muscle group. So sitting nice and tall, tilt your head back and pick a spot on the ceiling that will mark your range of motion before the movement flow. And then relax, come back to neutral and bring your hands behind you with fingers pointed away. And bring your heels closer to your buttocks. Relax the shoulders, relax. This is also somatic movements are a little bit different than yoga because we're not having to sit rigid all the time. So just let your upper body go, starting with the right heel, slide it out, balance on the heel, and point the toes down towards the floor. I call them monkey toes. Then flatten the ball of the foot down on the floor, slide it back. Keep the ball of the foot on the floor and just lift and spread the toes. Okay, so the foot is flat, slide it out, but only slide it about 20 inches so that the leg doesn't become straight. You want to keep your knee bent, and then balance on the heel and point the toes. And if your foot cramps, then try doing less of the pinching with the toes. And it also means that your neck is probably pretty tight. So lift and spread your toes. And then now that you have the movement, you can close your eyes, bring your focus inward, and bring all of your attention to your heel, your ankle, your toes. Remember I mentioned that this is going to make the benefits exponential when you can use laser-like focus and the parts of your body that you're isolating with the movement. So again, relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, relax the belly, feel the sensations of your heel dragging on the floor. Feel all the little bones, the top of the toes, the top of the foot, You guys look great. Nice and slow and smooth. I love using this as a demonstration if I'm visiting, I don't know, somebody that wants to learn about somatics. This is a really fun one to teach to your friends and family because it doesn't take very long. And Sherry and I have coined the terms miracle moment because this is one of those ones you'll see soon that makes a huge impact. So I see some of you extending your leg all the way out so your knee is flat, so try not to do that. Try just sliding your foot out, I don't know, 12 to 20 inches. Yeah. And when you're finished with this last one, bring your heel back and hold on to your knees. Tip your head back and tell me if you've changed your range of motion. Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's what we're doing to every single muscle group in your body, but this one is really more pronounced. And we can increase it by doing the other leg. So again, bring your hands behind you. Bring your heels closer to your butt. Close your eyes because you already know what the movement's going to be. And when you're ready, just slide that left foot out, only a little bit. Pivot on the heel, point the toes down like you're trying to grip a pencil between your toes. And then flatten the foot, slide it back, lift and spread the toes, but the ball of the foot stays on the floor. So challenge yourself in meditation to learn something new about your body. Feel the connections. For example, notice what's happening in the knee when you lift and spread the toes. Another game of awareness I play with myself sometimes is as I'm doing these movements, I'm checking in to make sure the rest of my body is relaxed. Sometimes we tend to hold what I call secret tension, like in the belly, for example, is where I hold some of my tension sometimes, or it could be in my wrists or my fingers. So let's be efficient through these movements and just keep the movement focused. Oh, I don't think I finished my thought. So you can do this sitting in a chair. This is a great one to do on a plane if you're traveling long distances, or if you're a desk worker. This is a wonderful movement to do. You can just take off your shoes if you're wearing them, and while sitting in a chair, you can do the same sequence. When you're finished with this last repetition, then hold on to your knees. Tilt your head back. Did you find even a little bit more room? Awesome. So again, you guys, what we're doing, instead of stretching a muscle, like this is the shortened muscle in yoga, and there's nothing wrong with this, it just uses a different part of our brain. Instead of stretching a muscle, you're resetting that muscle so that this muscle group from here to here is now longer, it's less bunched, and that's why you have more range of movement. Yeah? Awesome. Okay, then please come to the ground, lie on the floor. Find the middle part of your back and lie all the way down. And depending if you have any pressure in your lower back, you can keep your knees bent. Otherwise, keep your legs flat on the ground. And let your ankles just flop open. Enjoy the benefits of your efforts just through these movements by the sensations that you feel on your body right now. Let your body open. Let the energy flow through your whole system as you breathe. Letting go. Witness consciousness, being the observer. And in this place, as an observer, you guys are honoring yourself, being in this moment, and accepting yourself exactly how you are right now. So as you breathe, send love and acknowledgement to every part of your body, your organs, your brain, your blood, your life force. As witness consciousness, as the observer, fill yourself with light and love and peace and acceptance. Awesome. All right, since there's been a lot of requests for shoulders, let's please roll over onto the right side with your knees together. So it's as if you're sitting in a chair sideways. And your head can either rest on your arm or it can rest on the floor. The left arm is on your side body. And let's first start by tipping your left shoulder back towards your spine and arch your back a little bit. And then release and come back to neutral. So this is all about squeezing the muscles behind your left shoulder blade. So try it again and see if you can get into a different angle, a slightly different angle. Try lifting your shoulder blade up and back. And then letting go, come back to neutral. Another tip to get more range of motion is with your left arm on your side, you can roll your thumb or your palm up towards the ceiling as you squeeze those rhomboid muscles, and then come back to neutral and pause. Let it all go. So keep the neck relaxed, just focus again just on the muscles behind your shoulder blade. Squeeze and release. Modify this however you need to suit your own body, how it feels right now. And let's change it up a little bit and squeeze the shoulder blade forward so the left hand stays on the hip. And just squeeze that left shoulder blade forward, tip it towards the floor in front. Squeeze your chest muscles and slowly come back to neutral and pause. A tip in this movement is with your left hand on your hip, roll your thumb underneath you, and that'll give you a little bit more engagement of the pectoralis muscle. So squeeze your shoulder blade in towards the chest. The front of the shoulder blade in towards the chest. Always pausing between each repetition. Notice your breathing, see if you're holding, and let it go. And now changing it up, come back to pause. And now shrug your left shoulder towards your ear. If your neck feels safe, you can lift your ear towards your shoulder and then slowly come down, the head down towards the floor, or just relax your shoulder. It's a pretty small movement, so you're just shrugging. Feel the top of the shoulder, the levator scapula. That's the muscle that we're targeting right now. On most adults, that muscle is working overtime. So just see if you can identify and squeeze that tender spot right at the top of the shoulder and making it smooth, resting between each repetition. And let's change it up then. Reach your arm down your side body so you're shortening your waist and your hip is tipping towards your armpit, and then come back to neutral. There's a tendency that the head wants to lift off the ground. See if you can just keep your head down and just squeeze underneath the armpit towards the hip. Use your abdominal muscles a little bit, and then come back to neutral. So this is all about shortening your side body. On the left side, the hand is just gliding down your body, or your arm, Come back to neutral. And here's the yummy part, is we're going to integrate all four of those points. I call this the Celtic cross. So we're going to make a circle. So first shrug your shoulder to your ear, and now bring your shoulder blade behind you and create a circle. And now come down towards the hip, and then bring the shoulder in front
and now back to the ear. So as best you can, make a nice, big, round, smooth circle with your left shoulder. Take some of the effort out of it. See if you're holding any secret tension anywhere in your body. And just enjoy feeling the mobility of that shoulder. Hopefully it's opened up a little bit. And reverse directions. Always feel free to take cleansing breaths, audible breaths. Face is soft, jaw is soft. And when you feel finished, then lie on your back. Adjust your clothes so you can be comfortable. Bring the legs down. Just notice if the left shoulder feels different than your right shoulder. Does it?
Yes.
Doesn't that feel good? Do you feel how the left shoulder is kind of lifted and kind of feels, I don't know, puffier maybe?
Yeah.
So again, this is one of the signatures of gentle somatic yoga. And this is the learning moment where the brain can learn the contrast between left and right. And let's do the other side. Rolling over on your left side, right arm. Resting on your side body. Remember, all my tips and encouragement is to isolate the muscles you're using. So with the eyes closed, begin tipping that right shoulder blade back. You can arch your back if you want to. But really see if you can identify the rhomboid muscles. The rhomboid muscles are right at the tip of the shoulder blade, between the tip of your shoulder blade and the vertebra. So that area goes up and down parallel to your spine. So right now you're going to squeeze and flush those muscles of stagnant energy, stress. We also hold emotions in our body. So frustration, anger, some of those not so fun emotions get stored in our back muscles. So just encourage those muscles to release by squeezing and releasing. But please remember to rest between each repetition. That's really important. Also, I mentioned you can change the angle that you bring your shoulder blade back. Try one that goes down and back. Try one repetition where the shoulder comes up and back. And then let's change it up. Let's bring that shoulder blade forward. So the right arm is resting on your side body. And again, the tip in this one is you can roll your thumb underneath you. And that engages the attachment of the pectoralis muscle on the arm. And you're engaging it all the way in towards the clavicle and towards the center of the sternum. So now the shoulder blade's rolling forward. And remember to rest between each repetition. You can also change the angle with your shoulder this way. Try using your abdominal muscles and squeezing the shoulder blade down and in towards the solar plexus. And release. Good. And now let's shrug the shoulder towards the ear. Do you guys know which muscle I'm talking about at the top of the shoulder? If I was to come and palpate on the top of your shoulder, most of you would go, ow! It's that kind of like quarter size or silver dollar size spot right at the top of the shoulder. That's the one we're aiming for now to squeeze and release. If your neck feels safe, you can bring your ear to your shoulder and lift it off the floor. Let you decide. It's not necessary, it's just another way of working in the Celtic cross. You can also lift your head with the nose towards the ceiling and get a little bit different part of the neck. We're re-educating some of the neck muscles right now as well. The SCM and the scalenes engage if you're lifting your neck or your head. And now reverse. Squeeze underneath the armpit. And that's the lat muscle, the large muscle underneath the armpit is the lat muscle. Also, you're engaging your intercostal muscles, and then underneath the intercostals is the oblique. So as you tip your hip, feel the oblique muscles coming in, up towards the ribs. Kind of like an accordion, you're squishing those muscles, and actually you're increasing your capacity to breathe right now because the diaphragm lifts on the inhale, and when these muscles are tight, some of us have kind of shallower, rapid breaths, and these muscles get super tight. So squeeze those intercostal muscles and release. All right, and now creating a big, nice round circle. Bring the shoulder to the ear, bring it back, bring it down, and bring it around. So the right hand just rests on your side body. Try to isolate just the muscles surrounding the shoulder. And for some of you, you might feel like your shoulder is a little bit staccato, like you might be missing part of the circle. And if that's the case, then go back and see if you can smooth out and make it more of a perfect circle. And reverse directions. So squeeze the muscles, release the muscles, and find that cooperation to make it smooth and slow and round. Relaxing the neck, relaxing the throat. And when you feel finished, then please lie on your back. Hopefully you'll feel a little more balanced now. Close your eyes. And bring your legs down. And let your ankles flop open to the sides. Feel free to use a cleansing breath if you'd like. And as you breathe, breathe some of the energy to your upper chest. And you might even like to visualize a beautiful healing color. So you're replacing all that stagnant energy with beautiful new chi, new prana. So just feel some aliveness in the space that you created in your or surrounding your shoulder. On the exhale, let your body let go closer down to the earth. Beautiful. Does it feel more balanced now, left and right? Let's do a few more for the shoulder area. So if you will, for this I might give it a little demonstration. So roll over into your right side and come back to a seated position. Actually, a couple for the neck and the shoulder. We'll do bonus. Okay, so for the first one, in my book, my workbook, and my DVDs, I call this quick neck relief. So in this movement, you're going to lift your head. I'm just going to go a little bit faster than I normally would in practice. You're going to make it smooth. Oh, and also tuck the chin. Make it smooth and slow, and then coming slowly down. So you can probably see this movement's really good for those of you that have challenges looking behind your shoulder when you're driving to turn lanes, change lanes. Notice how I'm tucking my chin. This creates a nice long cervical spine. And then when it gets to here, then it comes down, and this is the most important, is when your head touches the floor, let it all go. Sometimes I see students go right from here, right back to the next one, and then the brain doesn't have the information of what it feels like to relax. Okay, so the next one is going to be leading with your shoulder. You're going to start leading with the left shoulder and pick an angle, and then keep lifting with that shoulder back. And while you're doing this, you can push your pelvis down towards the floor, which lengthens your lower spine. If you have lower back challenges, really push the pelvis down as you're lifting back. And you can change the angle. So I'm going to come down and rest. This time I might do something like this. So can you see that I'm engaging all the muscles in the back of my shoulder? It's fantastic. And then I'll show you what it looks like on this side. We can actually bring one of the arms down. So you can press the pelvis, lead with the shoulder, squeeze, hold, and then slowly and smooth come down and relax. Should we try? So let's start with the right ear on the floor. I think I'd like to emphasize really the hips and the lower back. So before we start, how about just pressing the pelvis down into the floor by tilting your pelvis down. So you're trying to lengthen and take out the curve of your spine and then release. It's kind of like a cat-cow but for the lower lumbar spine. So press, lengthen those lower vertebrae, and then release. This is really nice for lower back care, that little detail. Okay, let's come back down. Both hands, palms facing down on the opposite side of your shoulders. Right ear's on the floor. We're going to release the neck first. So when you're ready, lift your head at this angle with your cheek leading towards the ceiling. Tuck your chin. Rotate over towards the left slowly and smoothly. Remember not to push or struggle, just honoring your range of motion. And then when you're ready, slowly come down until the left ear touches the floor. Let it all go. And release the hips, release the butt, the legs, the toes. When you're ready, use your back muscles to lift your head off the floor. First, you're keeping your cheek parallel to the ceiling. Then tuck the chin. Close your eyes. Keep your focus inward. Feel the movement from the inside out. And then slowly come down and let it all go. We'll just do 2 more repetitions at your own pace. Remember, you can tuck that pelvis if you want to protect your lower back. It's a challenge not to hold your breath here, so as best you can. Breathing long and smooth. You look great, you guys. Yes. Your neck and upper shoulders are going to love you. All right, we're going to finish with the right ear on the floor. And you can bring your right arm by your side. Right ear on the floor, right arm by your side. Left palm is facing down. So now we're going to use the left shoulder to lead the movement. So if you want to tuck your pelvis, press your pelvis down. Lead with that left shoulder, then let your head follow. Come up and with your eyes closed, feel what's happening in your back body. Relax the right shoulder. Slowly come down. Let it all go. Let your elbow flop. Let your lower back release, your butt releases, and then try it again. Awesome. It's nice to see your faces relax. I can tell that you guys are really focusing on being very efficient in these nice Mari in these movements. Remember to change the angle if you want. Isn't it nice to get in touch with our muscles in our back body? We often, well, I'll speak for myself, most of my awareness is always in front of my body. So now you really get the chance to isolate and squeeze and release just one side of your back and shoulder. When you feel finished, bring your right palm back towards your shoulder, underneath your shoulder, and then pick up your head and let's move to the other side. So left ear on the floor, left arm by your side. And when you're ready, then tuck the pelvis, push the pelvis down, lead with the shoulder. So the shoulder initiates the movement. Then the head follows. Notice what happens, the domino effect of the muscles coming down your spine. Nice, Deborah. Looks great.
And they return at the same time?
What's that?
Do they return at the same time?
Does what return at the same time?
Like goes shoulder then head.
Ah.
You returned as a...
You return as one unit.
One unit.
Yes, it was a great question. So you begin the movement by initiating just the shoulder and then the head, but then as you come down, you let everything come at the same time. Good question. Thank you.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah. All right, you guys, last time. I'm going to incorporate part of the cat stretch here. For some of you that have taken my classes before, this is a standard. We're going to do this in another class, but if you'd like to, just for integration, the left ear's on the floor, bring your right palm facing down and slide your right palm underneath your left cheek. So we're looking at our right elbow. And when you're ready, just so we can incorporate the lower body, you can lift your left hand, your left elbow, your head, and your left leg leading with the heel towards the ceiling. And slowly come down. So do the best you can to keep your left arm on the floor.
Get it better. Say it again.
You say it all again.
Okay, I might have,
Yes.
did I?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did one of those great yoga teachers.
Automatically reversing.
Dyslexia. Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah. All right, so the left arm is by your side, right elbow's bent. Oh, that's where I screwed up.
Yeah.
I didn't screw up. I made an educational moment for myself.
Yes.
A learning moment.
So what is, now where's the head?
Okay, so the left ear's on the floor and you're looking over your right elbow. Everybody's looking at the right elbow? Okay, so then keep your hand connected to your face, lift your right elbow, your right shoulder, and your left heel off the ground. And keep your left knee locked and slowly come down. And let it all go. Try it again. So the hand stays connected to the face. As best you can, relax the left shoulder and the left arm on the floor. It wants to creep it in, help. Can you feel that left shoulder wanting to help? Looks good. And then slowly release. I decided to put this one in the sequence because we haven't done much for the legs, but we will in the next class. So when you're ready to come down, let's switch sides. Look over to the left elbow. Right arm is by your side. The right face cheek is on top of the back of your left hand. And when you're ready, then lift the hand, the left elbow, and the right heel up towards the ceiling. And slowly come down nice and smooth. And then rest between each repetition. So encourage that right shoulder to stay down. You guys look great. Wow. That little learning moment I made actually brought the whole class into the same pace, which is unusual for this one. This is a difficult one because I'm not demonstrating. All right, and when you feel finished, then please roll on your back. We're going to finish with one more movement and then go into Shavasana before we take a break. So lie on your back. With your knees bent. Call this next one a body yawn. So if you'd like to cross your right leg over your left leg like you're sitting in a chair with your knees together. Right leg over the left leg. Left arm is reaching above you on the floor. So the left arm is reaching, but it's above you and just kind of resting on the floor. Right arm is by your side. This is going to be broken down into 4 movements. So let the knees tip to the right. Before you go into a stretch, just let your legs finish wherever they want to land. And now reach with that left arm on the floor. Look over towards the left as you extend the left arm above you. Now release and bend the left elbow and draw your head back to center as your knees come back to center. So 4 movements. We'll do it again together. So just let the knees fall to the right is the first part of the movement. And then reach with that left arm on the floor like you're trying to get something above your head. Look to the left. And now relax the neck, bend the left elbow just a little bit and bring the knees back to center. If you want to, you can use your breath. So let's take an inhale here. Exhale, the knees fall to the right slowly. Inhale, the left arm can reach. Exhale, the arm relaxes.
Inhale the knees back to center. And the head comes back to center. So 2 more times. The exhale is when the knees go to the right. Inhale's reaching as you lengthen your low back on the left side, extending through the armpit. Relax the shoulder and the elbow and bring the knees back up. When you bring your knees back up, really engage your core muscles. In fact, you even want to press your lower back into the floor as your legs lift back to center. When you feel finished, we're going to do the other side. So unlock your knees. Bring the left knee on top of the right knee. Left arm by your side. Right arm is resting above you on the floor. On an exhale, let the knees fall to the left. Inhale, reach with that right arm, and you can look to the right as well. And then exhale, relax the right arm. And bring your knees back to center by using your core strength and press your lower back into the floor. So at your own pace. Four separate parts to this somatic movement flow. I'm including this one in the sequence for the final movement because it's nice to make sure that your lower back muscles are released before we go into Shavasana. Nice to see you working with your eyes closed, you guys. Nice and slow, but graceful movements. Awesome. Does that feel good?
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of those feel-good ones. So let yourself enjoy feeling your body moving and opening and relaxing. When you feel finished, bring your legs down with your arms by your side. Let your legs separate at least 12 inches and let your ankles just flop. And you might want to just let your head roll left and right on the floor, making sure that your neck is relaxed. And the palms are facing up towards the ceiling. And adjust yourself. You might want to lift your shoulders and tuck them underneath you. Sometimes that feels good. It also feels good for me sometimes to lift my pelvis and then kind of bring my lower spine down so it's closer to the floor. This is our final Shavasana for this segment of class. So become witness consciousness. Be the observer. And enjoy feeling all of the infinite ways the body expresses itself through sensation. When we talk about mind, body, spirit in yoga, for me, spirit is consciousness. Spirit is light. Spirit is energy. Spirit is everything. But in Shavasana, we get to really feel and experience our life force as energy, showing up as sensation. So use this meditation to expand your awareness of spirit, divinely embodied as you right now. soften. Release to the most intimate part of yourself through being peace, through being love. Each one of us has an energetic blueprint, like a snowflake, that is expressed through frequency and vibration. So in this moment, feel your energy body expressed as colors and waves expanding from your center, just like rays of a star. Might even like to expand beyond this room, beyond the floor, beyond the ceiling, beyond the walls. Just allow yourself to be free with your awareness of self without boundaries. Feeling safe, feeling grounded. Feel the beauty of your light shining bright, all directions. And bringing some small movement to your toes and your fingertips. Feel again the miracle of this physical body responding to our consciousness. Always have a choice how to respond. To life, heart. You begin moving your body in any way that feels good, but eventually lift your arms above your head and extend your arms so you can get a nice long stretch. And then rolling over to the left or the right side in a fetal position. Just feel this moment of just being relaxed and peaceful. Top hand into the floor, press yourself back slowly to a seated position with the eyes closed. If you'd like to sit on a blanket or a bolster, you're welcome to, or against the wall. We won't be here long. Palms or your wrists on the back of your knees or your legs with palms facing up. Just notice if you feel different now than you did at the beginning of class. There's no judgment, it's just a fact. Just being aware from the inside out, how do you feel? Hopefully a little more spacious, a little more integrated. Placing the left hand and the right hand on the body somewhere, just to close. Just feeling gratitude to self through your fingertips. Receive your own healing touch into the sacred vessel called the body. So often we give, we're better givers than receivers, so in this moment I invite you just to give to yourself through your own touch, saying thank you, thank you, thank you, body. Thank you, brain. Thank you, heart. Thank you, lungs. Thank you, teeth. Thank you, eyes. Thank you, energy body. All of that. Just feel right now. Gratitude for self. If you'd like to join me for the finishing Om, bring your hands to prayer position in front of the heart and relax the shoulders. We're going to make one nice big long Om. And as we Om together, feel the vibration of the sacred mantra rippling through your body. So as a deep breath in, inhale. Just like pebbles into calm lake, we just sent out vibrations of love and peace, the farthest edges of the universe. From this place, I say thank you. The inner light in me bows to the inner light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.